it made me start getting on the phones more with the city and going to the design board committees and things like that, because I was paying them to take control and do everything. But that taught me to be more hands-on, even if you are, paying a coach and stuff like that. I just ran into a crooked general contractor here in Atlanta. So it was a lesson, not a loss. I did get some of my money back, but guess what? And I did want to take to the street, put somebody on them, things like that. Let me be all the way real, okay? But I was like, I can't do that, because if I do that, it's going to come back on me. They already know we kind of, in a disagreement and things like that.
Exactly.
But that's that Jenny from the block side right there. I told y'all I'm mixed, okay?
What's up, y'all? Get ready to break it down and level up. Welcome to Doing Numbers, your #1 financial literacy podcast in the world. Clap it up.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
I'm your host, Olu.
I'm your host, Scott Howard.
So bring your pen and pad, because it's about to get real.
That's right.
What's up, Scott?
Another day in paradise, Jack. What's going on with you, man?
Man, I feel good today, man.
We got a special guest today.
We got a special guest today.
A real special guest.
A dope guest. Somebody that can help you get started in life. On the entrepreneurial side, on the mindset side, if you're looking to invest, she's going to be the person you need to tap into.
Honestly, I know I say that a lot, but today I'm actually really excited to get started with our guest today. We won't rush into it, but I just want y'all to know, for the record, Scott is excited to get started today.
So yeah, we got some cool stuff coming on. So I want to, give a bio out to all our good people, man, and give you an introduction of who our phenomenal guest is. We have Shynna McCown with us, aka the financial fanatic, who is passionate about educating others on business and financial empowerment. Shynna learned about the importance of wealth and ownership growing up in New Haven, Connecticut, where she was born. She watched her father grow and manage the nightclub and multi-family residential units with the help of her mother, which they had owned. In addition, Shynna and her siblings would help their parents with deliveries and maintain the rental properties. Entrepreneurship was in her blood. At age 25, Shynna moved her and her 3 children to Atlanta and began to focus on financial and business empowerment. As a 6-figure earner and serial entrepreneur, the author of Wealth is a Mindset, speaker, realtor, investor, and financial and business empowerment coach, she has tailored a powerful movement dedicated to empowering others around the world to recondition their mindsets, to realize that wealth is a mindset, and to empower you to build your empire. And the list goes on. But I want to get her on the show right now because she's done boosted my hypeness to another level. So without further ado, y'all, Shynna McCown.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm excited.
How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Feel like a giant.
Man, you got a pretty extensive bio here, and it's phenomenal, actually. So I wanted to give you kudos on that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Financial fanatic. What does that mean?
That means that everything underneath the financial umbrella, I love talking about. I love speaking on and educating, like anything dealing with finances and business. Yeah. That is.
Lights a fire under you.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
So I want to dive right into it, Shynna, because I want to, get our people going, get them to understand, how wealth is a mindset. And again, what we do here at Doing Numbers Podcast is we get our people from A to Z. So we want to talk to them and ask you things about, how to get started, from being in a situation of figuring it out, putting the game plan and strategizing to becoming a 6-figure earner. There's a lot of steps that was taken in between. So we definitely want to highlight those things, and we hope you got time to share that with us.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit about wealth is a mindset. What made you come up with that idea, or where did you find that idiom for people to run with and use in their own, everyday lives?
Yes. So wealth is a mindset. That's my baby there. It's all about the mindset. So it comes from thinking, it's really originated from living in like upstate New York and stuff like that. You see a lot of other nationalities and Caucasians and things like that running things, and just they're the CEOs, they're the doctors, they're the principals, they're everywhere, right? But you didn't see us on the face of anything, being the doctors, the lawyers, the principals, and all that good stuff, right? So when I came to visit Atlanta one year and I saw like all of these amazing people of color, us, that, you know, are the doctors, the lawyers, the principals, the everything that I haven't seen before. So I'm like, oh my goodness, because up north, wanting to, you know, being this businesswoman, growing up in a business entrepreneurship household, I didn't see too many of us. So it was kind of like not impossible, but it would be more challenging, especially back then. You know, didn't have social media and everything like that to highlight us doing things. So we wasn't the face of anything. So when I moved here, I'm like, oh, this is the place to be. You know, I'll be able to fit in. It wouldn't be second nature. Well, it'd be second nature because everyone of color is doing a thing here. Versus upstate New York and Connecticut, it wasn't us doing hardly anything, you know? So I'm like, this is the place to be here, you know? Okay. So that's where it originated from.
Gotcha.
And then, you know, throughout the years, educating my family members and friends, just always talking about business, credit. You know, I was raised in the household. I was hearing be your own boss since about, I can remember the age of 6 from my dad, just instilling that in us.
Blessing. Yeah.
So it just grew on me. Like, that's all I knew, you know? So that's where it generated from.
Okay.
And I decided to go public and put it in black and white for us, for our community, because, of course, I could talk all day. But I wanted to put it in black and white to have a tangible product. Now I'm thinking, I'm going to be speaking and talking to this. I don't know if they really listening. And look, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Let me put it in black and white in a book so it can be now a tangible product when I'm talking to people. And, you know, when people come to you, ask for maybe favors, financial favors, or how did you do this and do that? I learned to teach them how to fish so they don't have to keep coming back to you, asking you, can I borrow? Can I have this? Could you do this and this and that and the third? It's like, hey, you're just like me. We are all alike.
Right.
So that's where it all came from. It's like we all have 24 hours in a day. The only difference from you, him to me is just what we do with our time, you know, and I don't have no sympathy. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun.
No, you good.
But I don't have sympathy for people that's not doing, right? You want to know why? Because I am a mother of 5, okay? And if I can do it, anybody can do it, okay? So when I say from multiple streams of income, I'm very passionate about it. I don't take no for an answer. I keep, you know, going and striving. And it's really about the mindset. It's not a color thing, nationality, no matter where you're at. If I'm in New York, if I can move to Texas right now or overseas somewhere, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to put it together and do it again because I witnessed it. My dad moving from up like Connecticut to New York, opened another club. So that's where it's like, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. So I have been mimicking being able to pick up and do it again.
That's amazing.
So, and I can be long-winded because, like I said, I'm very passionate about the topic, about, you know, real estate, investing, everything that I do, I really love.
Okay,
so
perfect. Well, we're going to unpack a lot.
This is your hour. We appreciate you being as loquacious as you've been. I do have a question, though.
Sure.
Like, when you were coming up in your upbringing, right, with your parentage, owning real estate, nightclubs, so on and so forth, for our audience, what tidbits could you offer that they might not have assumed coming from a nuclear household like you did?
The tip I can give you as far as, especially as with children.
Sure.
Your children are watching, okay? We have to, especially in our community, I know we can all relate to going into maybe a Chinese store or, you know, different places, and other nationalities have even Indians and things like that, have their children running the register. They be about maybe, 10?
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Jews, everyone and stuff for us. So what I did was I started taking my children around with me when I was showing properties and things like that. Probably about maybe 5 years old. So they watch you, okay? And they may not pick up everything right then and there, but they will eventually, it'll come together for them. And be like, okay, I remember this. I remember that. Like, oh, okay. And it'll come together for them because even for me, and just even my upbringing, period, right? When you have a great foundation and your parents did the best they can to raise you, right? You might stray a little bit. Just like Christians in the church, you might backslide a little bit.
That's right.
But if you got that foundation, you're not going to fall too far from the root of that tree, right? You're going to end up circling back to that good foundation that was laid. So that's one of my key pointers I want to highlight for people that are parents. And even if you don't have any children, you have people watching you.
That was a bar.
You know?
Because you got kids too.
I do.
You think that's something you can implement?
No, for sure. And I welcome them to come and watch, what I got going on, whether that's, me designing different graphics for the clothes, for my clothing brand, or watching them or watching me, take these courses that I got, whether it's me on prep agent, working on getting my real estate agent's license, or working on getting my life and health insurance license, sitting there, letting them watch me go through that and honestly engaging in conversation with them, kind of bringing it down to, their level of understanding, but starting that conversation. So I think it's very important.
Yeah.
And having that, so being that you had, great examples, leading examples in your household growing up, was that like did it feel easier for you to succeed, or was it a harder experience for you to succeed? And when I say harder, like, because you saw your mom and dad become successful, have successful entities, was it hard for you to want to follow into their footsteps, or was it, like I said, an easy
did you have to live in a shadow, so to speak?
So it was actually, I just went on into it smoothly because it was like really instilled in me.
Cool.
So it's like, because I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth and my parents wasn't either, that didn't mean we couldn't create it.
That's right.
So,
I like that.
So that's what we're doing, creating that silver spoon and platter for ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Create the life you want to see.
Yes.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Manifestation. I like that.
Speaking it into existence, making sure you do be tunnel vision, because at first, I have people pulling me in different directions because they see that I'm great at a lot of things, and I appreciate that. But I had to learn to start saying no and get tunnel vision. And, if this is what my goal is, stick to it.
Gotcha.
Because you could be the jack of all trades, but if you don't master one or two or master something first, then you kind of just all over the place.
Master at none.
Master at none. So I had to learn to, get tunnel vision on it. And like you said, even speaking about showing your children and stuff like that. So a lot of times it's like they watch you. They don't pick up on it yet.
Yeah.
In reference to your book, I'm so sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
We have a lot of listeners who aspire to be authors themselves.
Okay.
They want to leverage what they know to get paid from it and offer help, to be a resource.
Okay.
What steps did you have to take to get published?
So at first, I have 3 editions out of Wealth is a Mindset. Okay. Cool. The third one is the final edition, the comeback. So the very first edition, I did have a publisher in the editing company that did it for me. Yes, that was the first version that was released back in 2015. So from there, I learned. They kind of taught me along the way what they were doing and how they were doing things. So my second
they helped
edition,
you win.
Yes. So my second edition and the third edition, I did self-publishing.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
And walk us down a little bit of the self-publishment aspect. Like, if I wanted to get into self-publishing, what is the first step I need to take? Is there a monetary incentive, or I guess not monetary incentive, but is there a monetary payout that I have to put forth in order to execute that self-publishing, or is that something that's just like, hey, if you collaborate with a couple people who have certain things that you need, they can plug and play and then make it happen for you?
Yes, so great question. So if you want to do self-publishing, it's not like money, a whole lot of money up front that you have to pour out. You can actually go to KDP, and that's a self-publishing platform that I use.
Okay.
It used to be called Create Space a while ago.
Gotcha.
So that's where you first start at, because there's a lot of resources there, and it actually guides you step by step. And see, the problem is in our community, we don't like to read. We don't like to take our time and read and research. A lot of things, it's heartfelt when I hear people say self-made. Okay. All right. Because millionaires, they're not, when they say self-made, that does not mean they did it all alone.
Right.
Facts.
No,
You
it
say that
means,
part again.
and listen, it means self-made, meaning that they was determined. They had self-motivation, and they was able to network and connect with people, rub elbows and put it together, partner with people and things like that. So it's really self-made.
Pooling
So
those
I'm
resources for a
self-made
common
when
goal.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
I like that.
self-made.
Yeah.
So that is. I'm coming. I'm in school to be a millionaire. You know,
Okay.
most people go to school to be a lawyer, doctor, teachers. I'm in school learning how to be a millionaire.
I really like that, Shynna.
And what
That's
were
dope.
some of the biggest challenges you faced when we talk about you know, getting into business and starting your own business? What were some of the challenges you faced?
Some of the challenges was me having children,
Okay.
Gotcha.
little ones, you know, having to balance time, being a mom. And then I was in corporate America, right? So when I was in corporate America, I always had this entrepreneurship mindset, you know, thanks to my parents, right? So I'm going to tell y'all something, right? But don't try this at home in real life, because we don't want nobody losing their jobs or nothing, okay? But I will be at work, and every chance I get, I'll be working on my own stuff, my own business
very
stuff.
important.
Break, I'm either reading, I'm making some phone calls, I'm working on myself, because what happens is, if you want to be an entrepreneur, most people feel like they don't have the time. By the time they get off of their 9 to 5, they're tired. They don't have time to pour into their own business and stuff.
Sure.
So I use my time wisely. My little 15-minute breaks, my 30-minute lunch hour or hour, sometimes I may have,
There you go.
and just utilize that time wisely.
You're dropping gems.
I made it happen.
Yeah.
Made it happen. I
in
might
my-
have
in
used
my
their
9 to 5.
copying machine and make some
Couple
flyers.
times.
You know, don't try this. You know.
No facts.
But yes, no,
You got to find little pockets,
Yes.
you know, to work on yourself.
yes.
Maximize your time and your
And
resources.
Solutions,
for sure.
no excuses. Solutions.
I like that.
Seriously.
I like that.
Oh,
Okay.
So no, that's big, but it takes determination.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? To do those things. It's not easy. So
It's
her
not.
sitting up here saying, yeah, I take my 15, 30 minute hour lunches to do this. It sounds easy, but it's not,
It's not.
because, you know, you got a lot of other things going on. You got a lot of people who feel like, man, I have to devote all this time to this particular job because this is what's paying the bills. And they don't even believe in themselves as being the ones that can take care of them for a lifetime and more.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that, bro.
Yes.
Y'all look at me in my eye when I say this. A lot of people miss the point. And if y'all miss the point here, the theme here is time. Once you maximize your resources and your time, you can be the master of your faith. So make sure that you really design an action-driven plan to maximize your time and figure out where you're putting that time already. And funnel those minutes, seconds, hours into actionable steps moving forward so you can maximize your resources and your time towards the goals you want to meet.
Yes.
And so I want to continue I'm going to stay on the wealth as a mindset thing, because in our first episode, we talked about, our episode was actually called Mindset Shift. And the biggest thing that we wanted to talk about was, we could sit here and talk about, you know, investing, numbers, you know, we're going to get into some numbers too. But, you know, we can sit here and have all these great conversations, but if your mindset isn't there, none of that matters.
None of that matters.
None of it matters. So
That's facts.
we all endure, you know, rough patches and go through growing pains as entrepreneurs on our journey. So within those rough times that we've gone through, what motivates you to keep going?
My mindset, my end goal. I know I want to travel the world and just making deals and plays and stuff like that while I'm on a beach somewhere.
Gotcha.
So I don't want to keep exchanging my time for money.
Mm.
So I know having a job is job, just over broke.
Ooh,
So
that was hard.
yes. So
Say that again for the camera one time.
job stands for just over broke.
Yeah.
You know, we can't beat inflation. You know, working and exchanging our time for money.
with
It's
you.
not set up that way, and they don't teach us that in school.
don't.
So I am big on, you know, coming from raised to blow money to wealth is a mindset.
I like that.
So
Shynna.
my brother, he has a book out, Larry McCown, called Raise to Blow Money. We collaborate, right? Wealth is a mindset. I actually went into a maximum prison in Connecticut and spoke and was the first independent person to speak into the prison about wealth is a mindset. And my brother, he was incarcerated. He had a 64-year bid, and he started teaching that course inside
is
the
dope.
prison.
Wow.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's lit.
Teaching inmates how to utilize their time wisely while they're there. And when I was there, I spoke to them about, you know, if you have someone that you know is responsible with their credit and stuff while you're in here, have them put you on their credit card to piggyback off of them. So when you re-enter into the world, you already have some credit established.
So what she's talking about is becoming an authorized user, guys.
Yes.
Like once you find somebody who's, like she said, responsible with their credit,
Yes.
you have the opportunity to ask them if they wouldn't mind putting you on their credit. And you don't always have to get the credit card.
Nope.
They can hold the credit card for you and
Yep.
use it in your name.
Yeah.
And they can build your credit for you. But find somebody that you can trust to help you streamline that process to building your own credit.
Yes.
You don't have to do it alone, like Shynna said.
Yes.
Build yourself a community to get you to the goals that you need to get to.
Yes.
Thank you,
That's right.
Shynna.
You're
That
welcome.
was
I
dope.
actually thank you. I actually, for my daughters, when they graduated, you know, most people think of different types of, you know, the general gifts.
Gotcha.
One of my gifts was, for a few years prior, had started, you know, adding them on my cards, my credit cards, and they was able to graduate with a nice
That is
credit score.
That's beautiful.
So in our community, we don't think about
We
things
don't.
like that.
We don't.
So it's
We
like,
always think
let's
about
give
the
them
material,
a head
don't we?
start.
Or
Yeah.
us,
Yes.
you know, oh, we didn't get to experience life when we were little, so we're going to do it now. And you know what I'm saying? And have our children, have our children suffer from that.
And perpetuating those.
Of course,
Yeah,
you're keeping that
experiences.
proverbial wheel going around of the cycle that never ends.
Yes.
So putting them on early, you know, allowing them to establish some credit is definitely a great tool. And it's important for our community to really embrace that and be comfortable, you know, with having those conversations with your children to let them know, hey, this is one step for us to break our generational curse by doing small things like this.
Sure.
So kudos to you for that, because that's
you.
super dope. And that's reformation as well. You know, we got these prison systems in this country that always, you know, they try to say that they're reforming and they're making our people better when they come out, but to be honest, they're not doing everything that they possibly can. So to hear that, you know, you went in there with an initiative and you laid a foundation, and now your brother is taking over and doing phenomenal things and changing these young men and women's lives that have unfortunately been in situations to come out and, you know, have something positive going for themselves. That's amazing. That's reformation to me.
No, that's an amazing turnaround
Definitely.
point. And then
Thank you.
for you to implement it yourself in a space where you saw it was absent. Like the prison system, like you said, does not reform our people. It does not.
Not at all.
It's a punishment. It's not a reformation.
And you look at these other countries, man, they actually reform their people.
do.
You know
They
what?
really do.
And
Talk to me.
that's where it originated from. Connecticut took it from the prison system in Germany. They mimicked it, and they did a trial period in Connecticut at the prison that my brother was in,
I didn't know
and they didn't think it was gonna last.
Really?
But yes, and it's still standing today. It's called the True Program.
Wow.
They took it from Germany, and they're doing well. And it's for inmates from the ages of 17 to 24 that they allow them to be in this program.
Got you.
So they don't return.
That's dope.
So it was
It
really
eliminates
Stay
the
out
nice.
here.
attention. Yeah. I
Yeah.
got
It was
that.
really
There you
nice.
go.
Yeah.
It was
I
really
like that.
nice.
Nah, that's lit.
Before we got on air, you told me that you wanted to tell me a little story. surrounding your name.
Okay.
What you got for me?
Okay. So Shynna. So it came from, I have 3 siblings that was like in the household with me, my mom and my mom and my dad, right?
Gotcha.
It's 3 of us. And their names is Sean, Shynna, and Shanika. And my mom said it came from this show called Shynna Nah back in the day. I don't know. That's, before my time.
Right. If y'all know about Shynna Nah, hit us in the comments.
Shynna
All
Nah.
our old head listeners, hit us in the comments about Shynna Nah.
My mother said my dad loved
Crazy
that show,
work.
rest in peace. And so that he loved that show. And so every time she was pregnant, okay, this name, like it came together. I'm like, oh, okay.
She had to do it for
and I gotta
Pops.
actually look it up myself. Shynna Nah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shout out to Shynna Nah.
Nah.
If y'all know anything about Shynna Nah, hit us in the
Google that.
comments.
Okay.
Hit
Yes.
us in the comments if you used to watch Shynna Nah. I got something for y'all.
So here we go. I want to get into a little bit of doing numbers with you.
I like that.
So I'm gonna switch this over to just the business strategy of things. You're a strategist. You're in the investing. You're a realtor. You got a lot of phenomenal investment endeavors going on. So one, I want to know what's the first business that you opened up? Do you still have it? And what did it take to fund that business?
Okay, great question. Take me down memory lane. Well, I love it. Okay, so first business that opened up was a commercial cleaning business.
Cool. Okay.
Through a franchise. And the money, it took some money. I think I started it with, the package that I wanted, because I wanted to, I think at that time, this was in 08. 07, when I first moved here. A lot of people say when you move somewhere, the first year and stuff is hard and things like that. For me, it actually wasn't.
Oh, wow.
I had a dope first year.
Okay.
How so?
My first year, oh my goodness, my first year, thank God, okay, bought a house.
Nice.
That's dope. That's a hell of a first step, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And bought into the commercial cleaning business. Now, check this out. I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm getting all the way naked right here.
Okay, cool.
So, up north things is different.
That's very true.
And I had Section 8, right?
Okay.
And I moved here with Section 8. I'm getting all the way naked. Yeah. Okay.
Talk to us.
So
Yeah, it's
listen,
a safe spot.
look what I did.
Mhm.
You can get a house through Section 8 though, right?
Okay.
But in NACA programs, a lot of programs, it be, well, you have to do this or have to get this and things like that. And usually those programs is for people that can't get it on their own.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
So me being who I am, I was always in the credit. I always had even back then 680 credit score. And back then that was big. So I always wanted to do business,
Okay.
right? So I wanted to do it there in Buffalo when I was there, but that's a different story. Dealing with, I'm like, let me see, good girl like bad guys,
Yeah,
right?
gotcha,
Okay.
yeah.
So I wanted to do it there in Buffalo, but they wasn't really on to that. And I was trying to put them on that. Let me get your money
Yeah.
and flip it over here. And I'm like, but they
Right.
wasn't really ready for
Right.
it. So when I moved to Atlanta, I had the credit and I ended up buying a house, but outside of Section 8, but still had my Section 8.
Gotcha.
So then how you do this?
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
I was like, cuz I could,
They say you jugging the system. How you got both? You got it on one
That's
side
a
and
hack.
the other. Yeah.
You got a hack going on here.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I eventually had to let that go.
Yeah.
But I was good because I
Yeah.
had already
Yeah, got
secured
your
my
house.
house,
Yeah.
right? So I bought the house from somebody, right? And the proceeds from that, can't tell you how that. Listen.
Right.
Okay, so the price of the house was one way. They was gonna sell it for one price. I'm getting naked, child.
Yeah,
Okay?
I feel
the
that.
house was they was only gonna sell it for this.
You're right.
Mm.
But you got it for this.
But I said, hey.
Yeah. It's cool. The cameras ain't here.
Yeah,
You
okay,
good.
listen. Okay, so then we did it that way, and I'm gonna give you this, and so now I have a bigger amount, right?
Gotcha.
So I took that money there. The package that I wanted to buy into at that time, I wanted to gross $3,000. I wanted to bring in $3,000 a month. So that package was $13,000 to start. So I took the proceeds from the house and paid cash for it. So we know when you finance stuff, yes, you're using other people's money, but you're gonna pay more for using their money, right? So because I was paying cash and I wasn't financing that $13,000, I ended up being able to pay only $11,000.5 for the package to get $3,000 in a month.
Hear that?
Did y'all hear that?
Pay cash. What'd you say, Shynna?
You pay less because when you use other people's money, you are going to pay more. So, you know, I do use other people's money, you know, but it depends on, you know, what it is and how you, yes. So that was that play there. And I had that cleaning company business for about 4 years. Okay. Had about 8 to 10 employees, had a lot of nice accounts. Crystal Springs, the 191 Club on Peachtree. A lot of nice accounts, and it was a nice experience. So I did all that within my first year of moving to Atlanta.
That is dope.
Now, while in the Section 8, because I want to bring it back to there real quick. because I mean, you made it out of Section 8. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To doing what you're doing. And it's a lot of people, it's not easy, but it can happen.
It can happen.
I want you to go into, when you were in that Section 8 position, were you taking the time to build your credit to get into that point of like, okay, this is temporary, but while I'm in this temporary situation, this is what I'm about to do to get to my next point?
Yes. Always temporary situation. Things like that in programs is supposed to be temporary, right? And I always had good credit and things like that. But coming up and being up north, you know, that's a lot of people's mentality, right? And let me be all the way transparent. I used to, when I was working, I would have people around me be like, you know what? I'm not going to work this many hours because my renewal is coming up for my food stamps in Section 8. I don't want them to see I make this amount of money. So they keep themselves in this little bracket, okay?
Comfortability.
So mindset. My mindset, I'm not thinking like that. I want to get away from this. I'm not going to stop working and hours and this and that and the third because I want to live off the system.
Sure.
How fun is that?
I like that. How fun is that?
It's not.
So I was like, yeah, this is not for me. And I'm glad you have to be strong-minded. And I didn't let that rub off on me, that mentality. Because when I say all the CNAs, back in the day, the CNA was the job, okay? Especially
it still is.
Right, it still is. So, and they was talking, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Comfortability keeps you from shooting for more.
You going to stay per diem because of what?
That part.
That didn't make any. So it's really all about the mindset. And I had children then.
Yeah.
I had 3 at the time. Even when I moved to Atlanta, I had 3 girls at the time.
Right.
I was 24 when I moved here with 3 girls. I got my first marriage when I was 18. You know, so man, listen, it's really about the mindset, and you cannot like mold someone into wanting to be an entrepreneur. I know before I came out with the book and stuff and educating my people and everything like that, I did try to talk about it a little bit, but I seen that was draining me, right?
Gotcha.
So then I started like just standing back, right? And I wouldn't start talking about business or nothing unless a person presented themselves to me and started talking about it themselves, because I did not want to be that girl that's around family members and friends always talking business, because that's just where my mind is at. But I don't want to pour that out on to people, like, you know how people run away from, excuse me, y'all, like the preacher or someone, they always talking about religions or politics. I didn't want to be that girl. So I just always waited till someone may had started talking about it or asked me before I opened up and start talking about it, you know. And I tell people, I could easily tell you what to do and things like that, but they kind of say, well, she don't share their information. She doesn't do this. I do. They just want me to tell them exactly everything I did. But you have to, and I do it for them, because you'll hinder a person if you keep giving, right? Yeah, and not making them responsible to read up on it themselves, to do the legwork themselves and things like that. So they kind of frown upon, like, I'm like, okay, this is what I did. And come join me to take the same course I took. Right. Like, I really pay coaches and mentors to cut my learning curve in half, right? So if I'm paying coaches and getting mentorships and things like that, you want me to give you all the information for free, not even just the money part. If you're not setting up a coaching session with me and I'm not in that mode of being a coach, I could just tell you a little bit about Airbnbs. I could tell you but you're going to be shortcutted because I'm not in a position as your coach.
Right.
You're just trying to pick my brain over phone, over lunch real quick. And you're not going to get all the information. And then you're going to be like, well, she didn't tell me this. She missed that part. Well, I didn't have the opportunity to because I'm not in the role of a coach.
Right.
You didn't pay the cost of
You
admission.
didn't. Yeah. So if you pay a coaching fee, yes, you will have all the, like, I'm be set up that way. Right.
Correct.
So it's like, I don't want you to fail. Come join me. Or here's the same course I took. Or things like, but they don't want that. Oh, she want me to pay the money. She could just tell me. You know how long it took me to learn how to do Airbnb?
Right.
You know how long it took me to learn about flips and things like it, I can't tell you in a conversation.
They want a ready-made plan.
Yeah.
And it takes time.
It's not
man.
fair.
It's not.
Do our listeners a favor and tell us about your first experience with paying a coach and what value you took from that experience.
Okay, so first time, I'm going to say not even the first time, my last experience.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
For my birthday, I got me a flip property. I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor since 2008. But I initially got into the real estate game to not leave money on the table while I build my investment portfolio, right? Okay.
Say that one more time.
To not leave money on the table, to get money from buying properties myself and not leaving the money on the table, okay? So I became the realtor by accident, family members and friends, because when you're in school, you got to tell everybody you're a realtor, So then I had to get back to my core. I really wanted to be an investor. So my birthday, 2022, I bought my first flip property to start transitioning over to the investor side. So I bought, I paid for a coach. I met a contractor here in Atlanta through a client house that I sold. They was in a distressed situation. So I met this person, said they was a general contractor. They can help me, flip the house and they could be the general contractor and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. I had just sold another property, bought and sold 4 personal properties, but the investment side is totally different. And I rehabbed the personal property, like kitchens, bathrooms, but it's different for a complete rehab. Okay.
Right. Gotcha.
So I took the money from, and this is a divorce I went through and sold a house. And look, I took $40,000 to put a down payment on a house.
Gotcha.
Right? A flip property. And within that structure of the deal, the general contractor was going to be the mentor and coach me through it, right?
Gotcha.
So they was being greedy. We in Atlanta, y'all. Y'all got to be careful, okay? All right? So they was going to get paid 3 ways, okay? Well, they thought they was only supposed to get paid for being my mentor, on a 60-40 split, right? They ended up not performing and doing their duties and stuff like that. But if you do right, you get more. When you build relationships and do more, you will get more money than trying to melt people and do them wrong.
On a case-by-case basis.
On a case-by-case basis. So it did go sour, but it wasn't a loss. It was a lesson. Because it made me start getting on the phones more with the city and going to the design board committees and things like that, because I was paying them to take control and do everything, but that taught me to be more hands-on, even if you are, paying a coach and stuff like that. I just ran into a crooked general contractor here in Atlanta. So it was a lesson, not a loss. I did get some of my money back, but guess what? And I did want to take to the street, put somebody on them, things like that. Let me be all the way real, okay? But I was like, I can't do that, because if I do that, it's going to come back on me. They already know we kind of, in a disagreement and things like that.
Exactly.
But that's that Jenny from the block side right there. I told y'all I'm mixed, okay? So I said no, and it panned out. I did get some of my money back, and I learned a lot of experience. But that was one of... And it did help me learn and cut my learning curve. And I did learn a lot. I did. The property just went on the market. He didn't get any money, because he crooked. He crooked. So it just 2 years later, it don't take 2 years to do a flip.
It really don't.
So, good don't come to people that play dirty games, So I ain't have to get them in my terms. God got him, know? So.
Got him out of there.
Yes.
So what I want to do is because I really want to help our people start from A to Z. So when you got into your first flip, break down what that process looks like to get into your first flip. Like I'm thinking about it. Let's say I got 10, 15 grand sitting, and I'm like, hey, I want to get into flipping my first property.
I don't even know what to look for, but I got this bread.
What am I doing?
Yeah, so you want to look for someone that is experienced in that field. You know, you do want to get a trustworthy mentor that's at where you want to be already, right? And hopefully they be right and they coach you along, because you can get a good deal on or off the market. Everyone tends to scream off the market deals, but there are some good deals on the market as well, right? So you want to first make sure, you know, your credit score is right. You want to first private lenders, you know.
What does that mean? Get your credit score right. What's
like,
the right credit score?
Well, so it depends on the private lender.
Okay.
Some people call them you have hard money lenders and private lenders. And when you're dealing with a flip property, you're not doing the traditional mortgage pre-approval. So you reach out to a hard money lender or a private lender and ask them what their guidelines are, right? Some of them is a 600 credit score, some is 626, some is 680. So it depends on that. You have some that don't even require documents, bank documents. So like if you're doing just a commercial, not a commercial, a cosmetic rehab, and that's usually cosmetic rehab is 10,000 and below.
Okay.
Like, and you just basically painting cabinets, flooring.
What they would call bare bones.
Yeah. Well, not bare bones. The bare bones is like when
you
the complete rehab.
Okay.
And you down to the studs.
Okay.
So it's a big difference. So then when you're doing just a cosmetic rehab, you don't even need like bank statements and things like that.
Okay.
I know one private lender that I had did for my first flip, they just wanted me to show, well, whatever I showed them in a bank, they pre-approved me 3 times that. But that's because I was doing a whole complete rehab from the studs.
Got you.
Right? But if I was just doing a cosmetic flip, and that's probably where I should have started off at, being my first one. Should have started small, but I was thinking big. I think big, you know?
Yep.
So, and I'm not, you know, hey, I'm going to always continue to think big. So, you know, that's not going to stop me. But yeah, that's where you want to start at. Calling your, call at least 3 and see what programs they have and which one best suits you at that time.
And you're calling 3 so you have those options?
Yes, I always call 3. 3 plumbers, contract, like I'm gonna always call 3 from personal to business and get my, you know, comparison prices.
And how does comparing those options help you make a decision?
What best fits you? You may not have to come out of money as much. Like my one that I selected, I didn't have to pay any money on that loan until 18 months later.
Is that still something that exists today?
No, not the 18 months, but now it's 12 months because now I'm about to double back and go through them again to do it again because that didn't make me scared losing 40,000.
Right.
You know, that's some of my money back, but you know, I'm not scared. I'm gonna keep going.
But you still got the value from the opportunity.
I got the value. So they do 12 months now, no longer 18.
I like
Gotcha.
that.
Okay.
We appreciate
and
that.
Would you suggest that for that person that maybe has like 10, 15 to start out with, maybe collaborating with someone else who also, you know, has a little bit of liquidity or cash reserve on hand?
I would say do a JV, a joint venture deal.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So it won't be all on you and things like that, and accountability partner, and kind of keep you going. So partnership to me is a person that doesn't have what you bring to the table. You don't want to bring the same stuff to the table.
Right.
Partnership is usually, okay, I got this, you got this. You know, you come together to make it happen.
Got you.
Okay. And that it takes, you know, a great mindset, you know, to want to collaborate with people.
Yes.
Especially
a lot of patience.
A lot of patience. But finding, you know, I hear that a lot, you know, find other people that are skilled at, you know, what it is that you're not. And being okay with that. Like, it's not a humiliating thing if you don't
competition.
Yeah. If you don't know a certain thing, that's fine. But you do bring a different value to it, whether that's your credit. You know what I'm saying? You may be the person, the guarantor, or the one that's gonna, you know, use the credit to get the jump start on the project.
For sure.
And then your next person got the finances to take care of that.
We are setting that up right now. Another deal structure joint venture with some lady friends of mine. One bringing the credit, one bringing the, you know, the finances, the capital, and we kind of collaborating to get the deal done and go up from there.
It brings us back to your first point.
Yeah, and I fall asleep in my laptop. And people are like, have fun sometimes. I am having fun. When Friday nights when I was working on finishing my book, that was fun to me because I was getting closer to that finish line of
Mm-hmm.
my goal. Everybody's goals and stuff is different.
Right.
So they're like, come out, come club, come do this, have some fun. This is fun to me.
Right. Yeah.
And your goals were based on your passion, not circumstance.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that.
And so how, one thing about us is once we start making the money, right? We
good point, though.
we get crazy with it.
Yes.
We start feeling ourselves a little
Yes.
too much, get the big head. Oh, we know what we doing.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
in order to maintain that, and we talking about wealth and generational wealth, how do we, or how should we manage that cash flow and properly plan strategically our finances?
Yeah. Ooh, good question. Because when I did get that first flip and started building business credit, okay, I got like 65,000 in business credit, okay,
Yeah.
and I did do,
You did some splurging.
I did some stuff. I did, and so what I learned, what I found out was, this is make sure you write this down, okay.
Hit.
Bring a
Right.
pen and pad. I
Pen
told
and
you.
pad.
Make sure y'all write it down.
My first go round with getting business credit and funding, I ended up being a PG for it, and that stands for personal guarantor. Okay, so when the property flopped deal, some of the stuff came on my personal credit, some of them did. Okay, but I say that to say I found out what I found out was that you can actually start building business credit without being a PG, a personal guarantor. So if you do flop, it won't take a personal hit. And there's a way around. There's a way of doing that.
Yeah.
So this time, now that I'm picking up the pieces and doing it again,
Right.
I got everything going and being set up without me being the PG. Okay, and it has to be set up properly.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I do. Help people do now with business credit and stuff.
So
you won't
just
be
to
a
be
PG.
clear, listeners, a PG, a personal guarantor, is just, I guess, the financial way of saying that you're liable for the responsibility of the loan that you're taking on. Like, it's going on your personal credit as opposed to just going on your business credit. I think that's what she's trying to explain.
Absolutely. You nailed it.
And being a realtor, how do you stay up to date on trends that's happening in the market?
Great question. Oh,
Yes. So being in the know, I'm in the knowing business.
Yep.
I don't like to guess. I take that. No, I want to know. So staying around in the know, being around people, networking, following the market. Of course, I have my preferred lenders that always send me updates and newsletters and things like that because I've been in the game for a while. You know, I'm like an OG in it.
Okay,
you know.
okay, yeah.
So and for me, I'm getting better with the social media and the marketing, but because I'm an OG, I came from the days before the Instagram, Facebook, and things like that. So a lot of my business, thank God, and I did good business to keep my face clean and name clean.
Nice.
I get a lot of referrals
Gotcha.
and repeated clients and things
Beautiful.
like
so you
that.
built your own reputation.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And now I'm getting with the program with the, social media.
And so
That's
I
what's
know
up.
when we talked, we were talking a little bit about crypto and getting into AI and stuff.
Yes.
I know that's something that you passionate about.
Yes.
So share with our listeners, how you are incorporating or implementing this new digital age that we're going in with currency and how it can apply in your real estate journey or as a realtor if someone wants to become one.
Yes, I love crypto. I'm learning a lot more about it. I was real quick. Take a pen, real quick. Another pen.
Cool.
So when I bought that property, I took $40,000 to the closing table, right? So, and that was in 22. At that time, Bitcoin was 17,000 a share. If I would have took my 40,000
And put it
and
in.
bought at least 2 shares of Bitcoin, I would have made 136,000 without lifting a finger. Okay, when you talk about doing numbers,
Right.
they're doing numbers. Okay, and so I got my first piece of little gray hair dealing with that flip property and all that. I had to release it because it was real stressful. You
Right.
hear me?
Yeah.
When I said I wanted to take to the streets, I wanted to do all this stuff. I said, Lord, no, you know what?
Yeah.
But if I would have did that,
Man.
136,000 without lifting a finger, without having all that stress of
Yeah.
okay.
But I'm glad you didn't get that opportunity too, because wins like that can become addictive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Because I am addicted. I be on that crypto. Listen,
I
be
seen
on
it
that
in your
crypto,
eyes.
be
I was
about-
like, I'm glad she ain't get that
oh my
win.
God, I am addicted now. Guess what? But if you know, you know. Listen, I'm so glad I'm surrounded and have the loved ones in my life to help me, coach me through that and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Ooh. Thank you. I bought. Listen, this is another numbers. When you talk about doing numbers,
there we go.
listen.
Let's go.
So my people was like, I wanted the little red toy poodle, the little mini dog to put in my purse and stuff like that, right? He was like, well, if you got the cash or just, I would say buy cash with it, right? And I'm like, I don't want to touch my capital. I'm thinking at the moment, tripping that if I need it real quick, I don't want to touch my cash because I'm used to crypto. Because with crypto, you can pull out and stuff like that too, or whatever. Just probably take a day, maybe, or whatever. Not long.
Yep.
But I bought it with my crypto, okay? My dog, my toy poodle. That man was happy to take my Bitcoin. I bought my toy poodle with Bitcoin for $3,000. And if you know, he was happy to accept that $3,000 in Bitcoin. And that was October 17th.
That was before it jumped again.
I don't want to 100.
108. Yeah. You was hurt, wasn't you?
I said, damn, I should have listened to kept my Bitcoin, boy, because I had the cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You did.
But
that's a good lesson for y'all, though,
Yeah.
man. Make sure that y'all pay attention to the market so y'all know when the trends are coming, one. And then two, when to hold them and when to fold them. Like a lot of times we spend the things that we feel like we have a surplus of. But that surplus is gonna save us on the back end.
Yes.
Make sure you cuff that.
Yes, and I invest in real estate on the crypto side too. I love everything real estate, so I'm on crypto side, buying into the real estate and the metaverse.
Yeah.
Listen, because that's the way to where we going.
That's where
China
we're going.
and them already digital, so the U.S. follows, and so
So-
Trump is all into the crypto. Elon Musk, all this. So hey.
They at the
Them
top
the
of the helm
clues
with
right
it.
there.
Yeah,
And
no,
they
seriously.
snitching on
Successful
themselves.
people, they leave clues.
They do.
And this place is already utilizing the crypto.
It's because they can't wait
And
to
they-
get caught.
And then they in the gas stations now,
Yep.
the ATM machines
are.
to buy the crypto and things like that. So we kind of late,
We are. We so
but
far
it ain't
behind.
too late.
Yeah,
It was a little late, but it ain't too late.
yeah. I will say I jumped on it right after COVID, so I feel like I'm right in the groove of it. I actually, when I was doing numbers back in 2021 when I first started, that was my introduction into the financial space. Was talking about crypto.
Yes.
So I'm a fanatic for crypto.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm real big on it. So I'm down to have conversation
Yes.
about that. But I do want to get back into a couple things real quick before we wrap up. So I wanted to talk to you real quick. We talked about trends. Can you give some of my people? We like to give them gifts. So a gift. Can you give our people some trends that are going on right now in real estate that they can be looking out for?
So right now, so real estate is kind of stable right now. It's not selling at the high, and the house not flying off the markets and things like that, like they were. But this is what I tell people: if you're looking for a house, like inflation goes up, inflation does not come down. Okay, let's keep it real. So the prices is not gonna go back to like they were in 2008. It's not gonna happen. So I tell people to, you will marry the house and date the finance, the rate, interest rate.
That is a bar.
You
Say that one
marry
more
the
time.
house, but date that interest rate, because when they do come down, then you can refinance. And let me tell people one thing about refinancing, because they scream refinancing a lot, and people think they could just pull money out of the equity, right? What they don't tell you is that you're gonna pay closing costs.
You are all over again.
All over again. And your loan starts all over again, okay? You don't talk about that. I did that one time with one of my personal properties. I refi, but I did it for not a cash out, but for the interest rate. But I still had to pay closing costs again. So then when I went to sell the house, I ain't had that equity, because when the closing costs.
Yeah.
So we got to be all the way.
Be intentional and knowledgeable about what it
that's
is that
some
you
info
sign.
right there. Woo, that's a gem.
Because that's something I didn't know.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's a gem.
That's real right there.
That is. And so, how do you personally define wealth?
Chest a little tight. Start sweating.
Yeah.
It happens, man, but it's a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only way we'll be able to understand and become masteries of these scenarios that we're in is just going through it and being okay with, bumping the head a little
we
bit.
pay for ignorance.
We pay for it.
Do.
We pay for
We
it.
really do.
We do.
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
And so I had a question for you, Shynna, because again, we all about wealth here today. So how do you define wealth?
I define wealth as, for me, being able to live the life that I love and have good health and wealth, spiritually, mentally, physically, being able to have more coming in than going out. And we have to know our numbers. You can't be scared. You right now, everybody should know how much they have coming in and how much is going out. You got to have a blueprint. So for me, it's to have that magic number to where I'm not spending everything I earn on my daily living expenses and things like that. Having cushions in my emergency funds and just passive income just flowing in abundance, just overflowing for me. And just to sum it up, because I can go real deep and long, and I seen the little timer, but just to sum it up, that's what wealth means to me. Not having to worry about it and everything paid off. And just living nice and comfortable and traveling the world.
And your definition.
Making plays.
I like that. And then your definition, it illuminates that everybody's definition is going to be different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you have to define what your definition of wealth is to attain it.
Yes.
That's dope.
So y'all, I hope you got a lot of information here today. I hope what Shynna was able to bring to you, you can utilize, and you did utilize that pen and pad today because she gave a lot of gems. She dropped numbers on y'all. So please take that with you. If you got any questions, if you got any, inquiries about how to get involved with real estate, how to develop the mindset to becoming, a wealthy person, definitely, Shynna, let us know where our people can find you, how they can get in contact with you.
Yes. So you can reach me. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Shy the Realtor, not Shy with 2 Y's. Same thing for Facebook. You can check me out in resources and things that I can put you on to by visiting wealthisamindset.com. That's where you can find the book, Wealth is a Mindset. You can also find it on Amazon as well. But make sure you connect with me, Instagram and Facebook. I do a little razzle dazzle on YouTube, just a little bit. Like I said, I'm getting better with the content and becoming more public, sharing a lot more things on the social media aspect. But that's where you can find me.
Beautiful. And how can we get Wealth is a Mindset, the book?
Yes, on wealthisamindset.com and on Amazon.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you for coming today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time. We definitely weren't able to unpack as much as we want, but
we're going to have you back on.
We're going to have you back on.
We already committed to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we appreciate it, y'all. And if you like what you heard today, man, make sure you share, subscribe, hit that like button. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Doing Numbers Podcast. Check out our show every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, where you can find all your latest financial literacy information.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm Olu.
I'm Scott.
Y'all, peace out, man.